What are the Oxford City Council strategies and policies relating to the redevelopment of brownfield land, and how could they ensure sustainable remediation? This presentation will cover this question before applying this knowledge specifically to Headington. In introduction to the topic at hand, let us deconstruct it to its bare essentials, starting with brownfield land. A concise definition of this is previously developed land, or any land that has been used for any purpose and is no longer in use for that purpose. There has been significant call and action to redevelop brownfield land, especially in the UK, this being a much championed form of urban regeneration. However, in order to do so, steps must be taken to prepare brownfield land for any impending building works. Remediation is specifically concerned with the cleanup of these contaminated brownfield sites, of which the UK has an estimated 40,000 hectares of, by way of containing, removing or treating the pollutant. On its own, remediation has the unfortunate risk of causing greater long-term damage than the contamination it seeks to clean up. Luckily, there is a distinction to be made in the delivery of sustainable remediation. Ultimately, this is remediation which adheres to the 1987 Brundtland definition of sustainable development, seen in Figure 5, and must be achieved on environmental, social, and economic levels. Certain methods of remediation have been highlighted for their sustainability. For example, in situ, which treats the elements without taking them away from the site, bioremediation, which uses living microorganisms to treat pollutants, and phytoremediation, which uses plants. Oxford City Council employs a brownfield first policy of development. As such, much land will be in need of remediation. As the Council counts land contamination as a material planning consideration, they've produced a land quality strategy. Its 5 objectives, seen on the left, include a commitment to sustainable remediation. From the City Council's current local plan, Policy E1 concerns employment sites, these being potential future brownfield sites themselves. Their policy for the majority of these sites, in exception of specifically protected institutions such as the John Radcliffe Hospital, is that redevelopment for residential purposes is encouraged if it satisfies the city's high demand for housing, avoids major loss of business, creates exemplar communities, and achieves sustainable remediation. Applications for such facilities as new warehouses and car showrooms will not be granted unless in exceptional circumstances. Having looked at these policies, it can be argued that the Council has a clear awareness of the necessity of sustainable remediation, holding it as an objective in any brownfield regeneration project going forwards. This is promising, as their systematic method should apply to any of the employment sites covered by Policy E1, these being the most wanting. Additionally, the Council's conditional prohibition of the creation of any future polluting sites is in itself a very sustainable act, as it cuts out the remediation middleman by avoiding any pollution in the first place. By applying the information presented to Headington specifically, one can assert that there is a sustainable future ahead. Extant employment and/or industrial sites that become obsolete or vacate premises for whatever reason will go through a process of assessment, and if a path of regeneration is pursued, rest assured that land will be sustainably remediated. We must remember that methods of sustainable remediation are not mutually exclusive. The Council could feasibly apply multiple at once if necessary, such as bioremediation in situ. The Shell fuel station on London Road, Figure 12, is perhaps one to watch. As the sale of internal combustion vehicles are curtailed, there will be an ever-reducing demand for fuel, which may bring the site to the forefront as a viable regeneration project. The employment of sustainable remediation may even produce something that looks like Figure 13 after development. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Find the references on the left, and the list of figures on the right.